I think I'm tempted to believe that what SDF is saying is correct, because since the Prime Minister came down, he was almost immediately contradicted by his Minister of Territorial Administration, and followed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So I'm really tempted to believe that what SDF said is correct. Now, Edmond Kamgia talked about the Swiss mediation. You cannot ask an obscure group somewhere to come mediate between states. That is not possible. And we have seen the result. It only sufficed for the Anglophone diaspora to raise a simple number of objections for that group to enter into a shell. The mediation is as good as dead. So I think that there is no hope that way. We should look for another solution. We heard that Germany was offering to mediate, but up to now we have not seen any effort made by Germany to come forward and say we want to actually take over this mediation. So as of now, I think that the Prime Minister's announcement and his tour that he's made was simply, as I call it, a meet the people tour. Because since he was appointed as Prime Minister, he had never gone back home. He was simply meeting the people and conveying the message that his master sent him to convey. But as to dialogue, well, you know the official position of CPDM, which was just reiterated by Mr. Mika here. They think that each time they send a minister to the field, that is dialogue. Well, we have to remind them that we are not in 2016. This is 2019. The Anglophone crisis has gone beyond the borders of Cameroon. International community has intervened, and African Union, European Union, the United States, Great Britain, Germany, UN, all of them have called for a broad-based national dialogue. Let us sit down. And that is the reason why the president was forced to say, okay, Prime Minister, tell that I'm ready to talk. But as of now, are we seeing any concrete measure that has been put on the table as something that represents the desire or the will?
Mais il y a eu des discussions entre le Premier ministre et les forces vives dans les régions du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest. Ce type d'échange visant à recenser leurs préoccupations et à les transmettre au président de la République, pour vous, est-ce que ça a une valeur de dialogue?
Excuse me, Cedric, that is what I call a meet the people tour. That is a meet the people tour. That's no dialogue. The Prime Minister sat nowhere. If you remember, Equinox was present in Buea. You had the images. You had the images of what happened in Buea. Elites were ferried from Yaoundé and Douala and carried to Buea. We saw them changing their dresses. After the meeting, they entered the buses and went back. What nonsense is that? Are there no people in Buea that you have to carry some from Yaoundé and bring? He went there. I mean, it was a clearly tailored televised show. The people of Buea did not participate in that thing. In my opinion, he went there to tell the people, well, I am a son of the soil, I've been appointed, I have come to meet you. My master has said I should tell you this. That was all. There was no dialogue. I am an elite. I'm an elite from Southwest. I come from Manfi. Was I invited? This gentleman sitting here is also from there. Was he invited? None of us was invited. Now, I think we should come back to what actually concerns the debate today. We were talking about back to school, and I heard this man here talk about something which really made me feel very bad. He mentioned twice that there is some mental element that is concerned when some people take some certain position, giving the impression that maybe people from the southwest and other regions are maybe mentally deranged or something. I want him to actually correct that, because you cannot come to the air and say those type of derogatory statements that there is something mental. By God, I am from Southwest. Am I mentally deranged? Do I look like somebody who has got diseases? No. You see, when we are holding our position, we should be careful. Don't say those type of things. There is no mentally deranged person in the diaspora. All of us went to school. We know the importance of education. But we should not forget that a corpse cannot go to school. When you say children should go to school, and then you see, many people forget. Back to school in Northern and South does not only concern Anglophones. If I'm wrong, correct me. 70% of the parents here in the Francophone area, all their children go to school in the South and North. Yeah. All of their children go that way. So when you're talking back to school, it is not only the Anglophone population that is concerned. Even those who are here, their children are concerned. Will you, Mr. Maker, sitting here, send your child to a school where you know that there is shooting going on every day? Can you? It's not only Southwest. Francophones here send their children to school, all the elites. They send their children to school there. Why has the campus of Sase been delocalized from Boya to Limbe? Insecurity. Insecurity. Nobody can stay in that area. So, I mean, you should be a bit responsible when you're saying those things. We know that education is important. We know that it is nice for children to go to school. But it is better to have a child who is alive than to have a corpse. Because you send your child to school and that child is killed, there is no second chance at having another life. Please let us make sure that before we ask children to go to school, the conditions are there to favorize, to make it possible for school to resume. You said that my little friend, they said that the government had given 198 million.
95 million.
95 million. I'm really sorry. For 2 regions, what is that? Are you buying granite to go and distribute or what? How much has been given for schools that have been destroyed to be reconstructed? Nothing. I mean, what I see is vain rhetoric, political rhetoric. They are asking people to go to school. Most of the schools are inside grass, inside forest. Nothing has, all the benches that have been destroyed have not been replaced. The buildings that have been broken have not been replaced. Those that have been burnt have not been replaced. You want children to go to which school? To go and sit on the bare floor, or to do what? Start by voting a budget for the reconstruction of all those schools that have been destroyed. The people who are in the forest, have you got access to them to bring so that they who are in the forest can come back and occupy those schools? Nothing.
Mais les campagnes menées par les ministres et autorités administratives visent à encourager les populations
How many ministers
à
go to the
forêt
bush?
pour pouvoir
How many of
les enfants à l'école.
Excuse me, Cedric. Which is the forest that has television to be seeing ministers? Which forest? People are inside the bush, they don't have radio, they don't have television, they don't even have electricity. You want them to follow what minister is saying? We should be serious. Ministers end in the big towns. Nobody goes down to the villages and to the forest. So you can understand that this campaign is mainly for people who are in the towns. And the bulk of the population is not in the towns. The bulk is in the forest. It's in the suburbs where you don't have television. We have look at the simple case of Yaoundé. We shall be coming to it later, where an electrical fault has put the whole town into darkness. It happened in Bamenda. For 3 months, they didn't have electricity. So how do you expect the people of that area where there is no electricity to even listen to the campaign that is going on? How? Then you can't look at the security aspect. I was really surprised to hear Mr. Maker say efforts have been made to militarize the area. And when the man wanted to talk, he wanted to change. No, he said the area has been militarized. Massa, we are not in a military camp. The army is supposed to defend the country against foreign aggression. Foreign aggression. You don't use the army against your own population. I mean, you say those things openly. The army is meant to protect us against foreign aggression. But inside the country, we have security forces. The police, the gendarmerie. You leave them, and you will say efforts to militarize it by creation of B units. B, what is that? Battalion d'intervention rapide. Wonderful. It's a battalion, not a police force. So I think that we should be serious. We want school to resume. Let us make the conditions that are going to enable school to resume without danger to the lives of the children, the lives of the teachers, and the lives of the parents.
Alors, après vous...